I was wondering. I said, is Chris going to practice today? Knowing that you're from down in the warmer weather.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be warm. I don't know what. One of those things, right?
Yeah. It was pretty cold.
Yeah.
Early practice morning. Safety. I have 4 children and a beautiful wife, and safety to me is a big thing. And I know Bass wouldn't put us in any harm's way or anything, but driving down there, I was worried about the black ice, and I just really wanted it to kind of get warmed up, and I could see where I was going.
So how was practice? I mean, you've been practicing for a while, and now everything's all of a sudden you got a big cold front coming in, you got this big weather system. So do you think it's throwing everyone's game off, or everyone's just trying to make adjustments? Wednesday was the last day to make adjustments, just check everything.
Right.
What are you finding? Are you finding it's going to be one of those?
I think that the mental aspect of this tournament is going to be huge. I think this tournament is probably going to be won in the last 3 hours of every day, or last 2 hours of every day. I could be wrong. It might be won in the first 10 minutes of every day. But as practice went on, it seemed in the afternoon the bite was better. I know there's a good morning bite, but I think the bigger fish, for me, a bit in the afternoon. So the one thing that I do have to look forward to mentally, and I tell myself this, is I've got all day, and I know that I can catch one on my very last cast. So I have more confidence in catching one on my last cast than I do on my first cast. So usually it's not like that, but going into this event and learning what I've learned from my first classic here in 2008 and fishing now, I'm looking forward to the Bassmaster class.
So I don't want to ask you whether they're shallow or...
They're shallow. I'm fishing shallow. I'm gonna start deep, and just because I'm gonna be cold, and it's gonna be cold, and you got guides that are gonna be freezing, and the shallow cranking is gonna be a little tough first thing in the morning. And once that sun comes up, then I think that bite will, the bite that I'm looking for will, be better.
I know a lot of guys are fishing 40 feet of water, looking for those brush piles and that kind of thing. That's not your style, is it?
No, it's not, and I tried it. I broke off a lot of spoons. I saw a lot of fish, and they would not bite, and I went and, fished my confidence, and I went up shallow, something I didn't do in 2008. Granted, it was one out deep, and could be one out deep again. But I know there was a lot of people in 2008 that were knocking on the door with the shallow crankbait. And I'm going to put my Lucky Strike crankbait on, and I'm going to make as many casts as I can and put as many fish in the boat and come to weigh in and see where we end up and leave the rest to the good Lord.
Our power pole is going to come into play?
No. This is a very deep lake, and you could get into some situations near bridges where you could back up and put your power pole down in the rocks and sit there and not have to run your trolling motor out. So yeah, I could see that. I could see somebody, definitely using it in here. I'm fishing so fast that I'm probably not going to be utilizing it here.
Okay, so I wanted to getting away from the classic. I want to talk about power poles a little bit. From a safety aspect, how important are power poles? Just from safety, we're not even talking about fishing.
They're huge. I know people have ladders and stuff on their boat. I've used the power pole to get up in my boat many a times. That's one safety feature of them right there.
What do you mean? How do you do it? You just drop the power pole?
It goes halfway in the water, and you can get on the power pole and then get on the motor and then get in the back of the boat. The power poles are indestructible, so it's not like you're going to break them. But power pole, the ingenuity that they've come out with and the technology that they've come out with in the last few years is amazing. they help you control your boat. I mean, it's just the bottom line. So.
And you use them, you drop them halfway down and you can actually get on them? And,
oh yeah, when we're at home and we're in the water when it's like 85 degrees.
You can climb up on top of them.
Oh yeah, I leave them halfway down and kids swim and they play on them, get up on them, you know. I'm not going to say I recommend that, but, you know, that's what I usually get up on.
Nice. And obviously, you know, in a high wind situation, if you have a motor go down, you can always drop the power poles and you're not going to run up on the rocks and that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've in Florida, put them down and left it there. You know, and it's there when I get back. You know what I mean? You're not having to throw an anchor. You're not having to let it drag or get wrapped up in the weeds and have rope everywhere, you know. You put your power poles down and your boat will, you know, find the bottom somewhere.
Favorite technique for catching bass? I already know it, but I thought I'd ask.
You know, you think?
I think I know. I think it'd be
like catching them on a swimming frog.
Swimming frog? Okay.
Of course, that bite's been rough the last couple of years, but yeah, I like catching them on top water frog.
Top water frog, like a cane toad?
Not a cane toad, like the new Chris Lane live motion frog that's coming out by Lucky Strike, and like a snag-proof frog, working it over mats. That's my favorite one.
By Lucky Strike?
Yep. We've got a whole new line of plastics coming out. They're here at the Classic.
They are?
So yeah, they're at the Lucky Strike booth.
I'll be able to see them in the expo, right? We gotta check that out. And how do you use that? Just running it?
Yeah, I just swim it, just all the way back. Just reel it.
What kind of hook?
You can use a double hook, you can use a 6/0, you know, or a 5/0, just depending on what hook, you know, somebody likes.
And you just stopping it at the lily pads, that kind of thing, just
No, I'm cranking it.
You just...
Yeah, I get my Bass Pro Shop rod and reel, and I put my string braided line on there, and I go to town. I make as many casts as far as I can, and I reel it back.